What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Dream FX filter from Prism Lens FX. I tried to set up the background of my video to have like little sparkly lights and things that would show off the effect of the Dream FX filter if I put it over the lens, but they're not very bright and I'm filming during the day, so sorry about that. Enjoy the decorations anyways. In my previous video in which I reviewed the Starburst FX filter, I put the filter over the lens for the duration of the video. I am gonna do that, but just a heads up that I'm filming on my phone, so I'm actually gonna be taping the filter over the phone lens, so it might look a little bit different, but I've kind of tested it out before filming and I noticed that it is pretty similar to the effect that you achieve in camera, so I'm gonna do it anyway, but you know, results may differ. So starting now, for the rest of the duration of this video, the Dream FX filter will be over the lens so you can see what it does. There you go. So you can see right off the bat that the effect of this filter is like a very subtle kind of dreamy haze. It tends to smooth out skin imperfections and kind of the lighting gets a little bit more diffuse. That is because the Dream FX filter is what's known as a diffusion filter. So it causes a diffusion of lighting across this like somewhat textured plane of glass. Now it's not textured to the naked eye, but when you put it over a camera lens, your camera can detect the texture and that affects the way that light interacts with the lens. This particular diffusion filter from Prism Lens FX is called the Dream FX filter because it creates this dreamy vibe. Most diffusion filters will create that dreamy vibe, and we'll talk about some of the competitors at the end. So let's start with the stats on this video, the specs if you would. This is a 77mm filter. They have 3 varieties available on the Prism Lens FX website. So there's the subtle Dream FX filter, which I have not tried, but I would like to. There's the Dream FX filter in the 77mm, and then there's the Dream FX filter in the 4x5 inch. So that's about the size of like a postcard. The subtle Dream FX filter is $55, the regular Dream FX filter is $65, and the 4x5 filter is $145. So I, again, have the 77mm one. It fits perfectly on my 24 to 70mm lens, as do all of Prism Lens FX 77mm filters. Most of their products only come in the 77mm. I'm actually not sure if they have any circular filters that aren't 77mm, so if you're gonna be ordering from this company, keep that in mind. You can find what filter type is going to fit your lens by looking on the inside of the lens cap. So here's the lens cap of my 25 to 70mm, and you can see it says 77 on the inside there. So that's how I knew that these would fit. Most of the products that I have ordered from Prism Lens FX rotate, whereas the Dream FX filter does not. I understand why it doesn't rotate. It wouldn't really make a lot of sense for it to rotate. You know, the flare effects or the starburst effects, that's gonna change the image as you rotate the filter because the points of light are gonna be intersecting in different places. But for the Dream FX, since it's just one look over the entire image, there's not really any reason for it to rotate. That said, the rotating filters feel a little bit more durable because they have, I think, either 2 planes of glass or just like 2 metal rings, but either way, they're just a little tiny bit sturdier. So the Dream FX filter, compared to the other products from Prism Lens FX that I have, does feel very fragile, and I do get really nervous when I'm like putting it on outside over concrete, like trying to stand over a bush or something just in case. I don't think it would survive a fall, even a fall on carpet, so keep that in mind when you buy it if you are a clumsy person. It does come with a soft wallet case. I've labeled mine, and then I'm also stupid because they actually put like a little label thing on the back, and I didn't notice that until I labeled all of them on the front, but whatever. In addition to being able to purchase this filter individually, you can also purchase it as part of a Pro Kit bundle. Now, when I bought this filter, it wasn't available in the Pro Kit. The Pro Kit was only for the kaleidoscope, starburst effects, and chromatic flare effects, and so that was the first product that I bought from them, was that Pro Kit bundle. Now it looks like, and I haven't ordered this yet, so I'm not sure how it works, but it looks like you can just pick out any 3 filters and they will ship those to you in a Pro Kit bundle and you'll get 10% off your overall order. I would absolutely recommend doing this. It's really cool that they let you kind of pick and choose now because I honestly didn't love the chromatic flare filter. I didn't find it super useful. My lens had a really hard time focusing with it on. And so being able to pick and choose, you know, you make sure that you're only getting things that you like. That said, the Pro Kit bundle is, at the time, was only $135. So I still got the kaleidoscope filter and the starburst effects filter for slightly under their regular price. But I would absolutely recommend getting this as part of the Pro Kit bundle, specifically because I find that shipping from Prism Lens FX is quite expensive. So you know, the shipping cost doesn't really increase much from 1 to 3 filters, but if you order one filter and you like it, so you order another one, well then that's like another $40 or something in shipping. It might be different if you're inside the United States, but I know at least here in Canada, getting them shipped from, I believe, Arizona is quite expensive. I've ordered 3 times now, and it's been between $25 and $40 each time, plus import fees, duties or whatever. So yeah, I would recommend ordering in bulk, saving a bunch of money, and ordering a few filters at once. Personally, if I was to order from Prism Lens FX for the first time, I didn't have any of these products, I would order for sure the Dream FX filter. I would also order the center field split diopter, and then either the kaleidoscope filter or the starburst effects filter, depending on, you know, your own personal photography style. But Dream FX filter would absolutely be one that I would recommend to all photographers. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful filter. I've got nothing but good things to say about it, as you're about to find out. So, the utility of this filter. So in day photography and nighttime photography, it has quite a different effect, you know, along the same lines, but totally different vibes. So in daytime, it smooths out skin, it gives this dreamy haze. In super bright daylight, like if you've got direct sun hitting the model's face, it will create this like bloom effect that kind of contours the side of the model's face. I find that super gorgeous. I use this filter in pretty much every portrait shoot I do. I'll use it for maybe 20% of the shoot, just because it is really flattering, and I haven't really had any clients complain about it, be like, this is too diffuse, this makes me look too dreamy, right? Like, so I've used it for client shoots, and I've used it for, you know, TFP model shoots and stuff like that. And the response to it seems like very positive. I've had people like, you know, I'll try and explain, I'll be like, I'm just gonna put this on and it's gonna make it look a little bit blurry. And you know, people will be like, okay, like, I don't know why you want it to be blurry. But then when they see the final images, they're like, oh, I totally understand why you were using that. Overall, I think, yeah, it's got like this artistic flair to it. It kind of jazzes up a photo shoot. In really bright sunlight, it helps to soften some of that bright sunlight, you know, kind of prevents these hard lines. And you can still get an image that looks sharp even with it on. So I know that might have been like a concern if you're looking at this filter and you're like, okay, well, am I still gonna be able to get like sharp eyelashes, or like, you know, am I still gonna be able to see catch lights in people's eyes and things like that? And absolutely you can. I haven't found that it's like any more difficult to focus or anything, but you know, depending on your camera, that might be the case, I'm not sure. But like, as you can see, like, it does allow for you to still get sharp details in people's eyelashes and things like that, while still adding this diffuse quality to the overall image, which I just think is a really nice balance. Sometimes I have found that when I'm taking pictures with it and then I look at the image in camera, like on my little display, that the image can look kind of blurry. And so the first few times I like then took it off and stopped shooting with it because I'm like, oh, they're turning out blurry. But when I get those images into the computer on the big screen, they no longer look blurry. So I think maybe it's just the ability of my camera's like display to render the effect, the dreamy effect. Like, I don't know, the way that it compresses the image to display it might be a little bit different than the way that my computer displays it. But overall, like, you know, if you're shooting with it and you look down and it looks blurry, just like, don't assume that the photos are all going to be blurry when you get them onto the computer, because I find that oftentimes they actually aren't, and it's just a result of the way that the photos are being displayed on that tiny screen. If you're shooting with this filter in overcast situations, it's still really lovely. You don't get that same bloom effect as you get in bright sunlight. Like, it won't like create an actual bloom off the person's face, but it will still create this like overall filmic vintage vibe that is super lovely, super flattering. It still smooths out skin imperfections. I find that I do a lot less retouching when I use the Dream FX filter, partially because it mimics that film vibe, right? And so if a photo is a film photograph, it's not necessarily being retouched, right? So I don't want to then mess with that film vibe by doing a lot of retouching. I don't usually do a lot of retouching in my photos anyways, but just as a general rule. And then also just because like all of the little kind of details, rough patches and things tend to get smoothed out. So if you're going for that like overall natural look, you don't want it to look too retouched. With the Dream FX filter, you might not have to do any retouching at all, honestly. I also really like this filter for taking portraits of people who maybe don't want their wrinkles showing. Now, I honestly, there's no shame in having wrinkles. I love it. It's showing your life experience basically. But my mom, on the one hand, has said that, you know, she wanted me to do a portrait shoot of her, but she was like, don't make me look old. She's like 68, so I'm like, okay. So I used the Dream FX filter and we got some really lovely results. They create this overall glow to her skin that looks really beautiful. We shot in kind of a sunset sort of thing. It also creates this nice like glow to her hair. Also, she's just a beautiful lady, but yeah, so I was really happy with the way that the Dream FX filter worked in that situation. For street photography in the daylight, I've only used it for a few sessions. I took it out for like a dedicated street photography session when I first got it, and some of the results were really beautiful. I was worried that it might be too dramatic, but I really like this one shot actually that used it. And I find that when you've got like really intense shadows and then the Dream FX filter obscuring the light or like diffusing the light, it's just a really cool contrast, right? Because the sharp shadows are intense and then the light is like dreamy and blurry, and like, I don't know, I like that kind of juxtaposition between harsh and soft. I love the way that buildings look with it. Architecture photography looks really beautiful. You know, architecture has generally got a lot of right angles and straight lines, and I find that the Dream FX filter just kind of softens them in such an imperceptible way, but makes them look slightly more natural, and I just think it looks beautiful. I mean, these aren't necessarily like the greatest shots, but they do show you like that really subtle effect that the Dream FX filter can have when you're photographing buildings. For nighttime photography, the effect that this has on like city lights and like if you're doing street photography at night with like buildings and signs and neon and stuff, it is super cool. It's dramatic, like it's way more dramatic at night, I find, than it looks during the day, which makes sense because all of the points of light are individual, right? So instead of just having like a big hazy background, you've got like these individual like little points. But it has like this really dramatic like cyberpunk effect almost. Neon lights look really cool with it. Like I love the way that it looks. And yeah, all of the street photos that I've done with it, I've had like this temptation to edit them into super like cyberpunk colors because it really does have that like vintage sci-fi aesthetic at night, which I love. Like 80s sci-fi aesthetic is just for me. And so this filter is going to be the way that you can get that without a film camera. As for night portraits and like night fashion photography, I always like to throw the Dream FX filter on. Like I said, I think I use it for about 20% of every shoot. The reason that I really like it is, you know, I do a lot of shoots with neon lights and neon signs, and it pulls the light and just like diffuses it across somebody's face, and it can like help blend, you know, if you've got like a red and green neon light, it can help blend those red and green tones together on the person's face to like create this kind of seamless just color. It's really lovely. This filter for night portraits pairs really, really well with the center field split diopter because the split diopter grabs the light and kind of blurs it on either side. And then the Dream FX filter will blur the light in the center, but it'll blur it obviously less severely than the diopter. Like the diopter will turn this into like 2 full clouds of light, and the Dream FX filter will just, you know, ever so slightly soften this. So it helps to kind of match the image. Like you don't just have a sharp image in the middle and then blurry clouds of light on either side. Dream FX filter just kind of helps to like, you know, blur the person's face in with these clouds of light and create like this dreamy atmosphere, which is absolutely what I'm going for when I'm shooting a neon portrait set. So that's all the information that I have about the Dream FX filter. I'll tell you about a few comparable filters or comparable filters that I have not personally used, but in doing research for this video, came across them. So the Tiffin Black Pro Mist filter comes in a variety of sizes, and it is $90 for the 77mm. So it's quite a bit more expensive, but it has black flecks embedded in the glass, which is meant to help with that issue of lightening, you know, darker colors. I don't really notice that the darker colors get lightened all that much, but if they do, then apparently the Tiffin Black Pro Mist filter helps with that. It also comes in a variety of sizes, so if you don't have a lens that accommodates a 77mm filter, then maybe the Tiffin option would be better. The next filter is the Moment Cinebloom diffusion filters. Now the Tiffin and the Moment are like the 2 big ones, and there may be like other brands, but these are like the 2 that I found recurring across the internet. The Moment Cinebloom diffusion filter comes again in a range of sizes, which is handy, and it's $75 for the 77mm. I've seen a few kind of comparisons between the Dream FX and the Cinebloom, and to be honest, I don't see any difference. Like maybe the Cinebloom is a little bit more dramatic, but only slightly, and I'm not even sure that I would want this to be more dramatic, but you know, maybe there's this like bias where like once you've touched a product, you're more likely to buy it, and I feel like now that I've touched the Dream FX filter and like worked with it, I'm like, you know, my allegiance is pledged to the Dream FX filter. So yeah, I'm defending it a little bit, but that's just because I do really love this product, and it's like an essential in my kit at this point. Plus, compared to the competitor filters, it's the cheapest, so you can't go wrong. All right, well that's everything that I have to say about it. I'm very favorable towards this product. It works really well. It's always been in my kit. I've been putting off doing the review of it because I was like hoping that I would have more to say about it, but honestly it's just really handy. It creates a beautiful effect. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Get it as part of the pro kit. Best bang for your buck. The other filters are also really worth your money. If you want to check out my Starburst FX filter video or my other Prism Lens FX filter review videos, please go check them out. They are at the moment my most popular videos on YouTube, which is cool. For now, as for like future review videos that I'm gonna be doing, I really want to get the subtle dream effects filter. I really want the subtle kaleidoscope filter, and I want to try out the radiant effects filter. So it's possible that when I get my tax return, I will be purchasing those 3 in a pro kit. So if they're available in the pro kit, which I think they are, so we will see. And if that's the case, then I will do a review on them in the future. So if you like this video, you want to see other reviews, let me know down in the comments. You can also like and subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every single Monday. And if you really like this video and you want to get notified next time I post, you can hit that bell icon. Dang, I got a new background piece that I totally forgot to display in this video, but it's this. And I want to display it in future videos because I find it hilarious. My dad got it for me, and he got it for me after watching my video about photographer harassment and how often people just like come up to me in the street. And I mean, come on. I think that's great. So at some point that's going to make some appearances in the background of my videos. Generally they are a blue-green theme and red does not fit into that, but I will make an exception because it is just such a personalized piece. Yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Take care, stay sharp, and don't forget to keep shooting. Oh my god, I've done so many long videos like back to back that after filming for like 20 minutes, I'm like, is that it?